My name is Tylluan. I'm a solitary pagan witch. I'm an author and the founder of the Wolf and Howl Press. The reason this is still up, I've forgotten to remove it for the filming. I'll do it in a minute. Tonight's little talk is going to be about, can you be a Christian witch? This is in response to a question that somebody raised, and I'd like to answer it on video because it's much easier than trying to type it all out, you know, cover all the bases. Are the two compatible? Well, for a witch, I always feel that the witch part is rather what I do. It's the craft side of it. It's the knowledge you acquire. It's the magic and the rituals that you do. And my own particular interest, you could say, is probably the Anglo-Saxons, though I'm a little bit eclectic. And sometimes, you know, I get very interested. I go through phases where I'm very interested in the ancient Egyptians or the Babylonians or classical Greece and Rome. So it's a bit of a mixture. The thing about Christianity, although there are many different paths, if you like, within the umbrella of Christianity, you know, you have the Catholics on the one side and the Protestants on the other, and they are subdivided. You have lots of different versions of these, and somewhere in the middle you get things like the Anglican Church, Episcopalian Church, you get all sorts of things there in the middle. The basic thing about them, which they are united on, is that most of them will not allow their followers to follow something else, and you get a version of this in Anglo-Saxon history. I think it's Bede who wrote about it, and he was talking about an East Anglian king called Radweld, or Radvald, I think it is. Anyway, this dear old king, he converted to Christianity, but he kept his pagan altars. He saw it as Christianity being something extra to tack onto his already polytheistic beliefs. He already had several gods in his life, and therefore putting the Christian god in as well was no problem as far as he was concerned. No, the problem was the Christian church didn't see it that way. This noise, by the way, this noise is Mabel, who you met in the last video very briefly. Mabel is wandering around making an awful racket, and the clacking sound is the arm of a chair. So she's gone quiet now, so she'll be up to some mischief in a minute. Anyway, of course, when the church found out what the king was doing, they were up in arms about it, because no, they said, you can't do this. Once you are baptized a Christian, that's it. You have to be a Christian. You cannot be anything else. And, you know, this is really the problem if you want to be a Christian witch. The two do not marry terribly well together. Christians tend to, mostly, not all, some are more enlightened, but many of them view witches as worshipping the devil, which they don't. That's something else entirely. Witches feel that a lot of Christians are looking down at them, condemning them, and of course they have a bad history together with things like the witch hunts. You know, when you think that the Witchcraft Act was not repealed until the early 1950s, you begin to think to yourself, well, no, you know, this is still Mabel. You wouldn't think someone so small could make such a racket. Right, start again. There is a bad history with things in the Witchcraft Act. It's still a little bit raw. So I would say you could probably be a Christian witch if your brand of Christianity is pretty free-thinking, pretty relaxed, laid back, if you like. And I don't know, personally. Oh, Mabel, stay still. I don't know personally which brands of Christianity that would be. If it's not, if you happen to be in a rather rigid form of it, well, it's going to cause you a lot more problems than you would like, and there comes a point where you have to choose. I mean, you may decide to do one out of habit, and the other out of a wish to follow the path, you know. It's a difficult one. I don't envy you that choice, and I'm sure people here will leave comments on how they have coped with it or haven't coped with it, and I welcome those because it's always nice to hear other people's points of view. So we'll leave it at that. Rather a short, rather up in the air I've left this one, I'm afraid. And that's because I don't know that there is an answer. There's certainly no one-size-fits-all answer. What works for one person may not work for another. And basically, as in life, we are all doing the best we can. And I wish you all the very best on it. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.